about to bring in to talk more about it the man himself, the man of the hour, head of creative, producer of Lucha Underground. Bringing it right now, Chris DeJoseph. Welcome, brother.
Hey, welcome, man. Thank you for having me so much, guys. I'm happy to be back. Talk a little bit.
Hey, how you been, man?
Hey, what's up, brother?
I have been all right. How about you guys?
Good.
Oh,
doing
good,
awesome,
man.
Good. Now, you currently still out in California?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you missed the blizzard.
No blizzard for me. It was sunny in the 70s while that blizzard was happening. Sorry to rub in.
Oh, can't argue with that.
My family, a lot of my family was telling me about it though, so I was pretty happy to be out here.
Oh yeah. Well, lucky you, Chris. Lucky you.
Yes,
definitely does it. Thanks for coming on as always, having you back on the show. We will try not to mention what was that 4-letter word there, NSC? Not really 4-letter, like a 3-letter acronym that Chris told us not to mention. Started with a W.
Oh yeah. We don't talk about that.
We're not gonna mention that, Chris, this time. Remember?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah, you told us not to mention the 3 letters, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
Which one? I don't remember which ones I told you not to mention.
It's so many of them. We don't want to get it confused. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm down. Whatever. You guys tell me.
Okay. Yeah, it was the WWE. Yeah, he didn't want to hear that.
God, don't. God, don't.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man, it's bad luck, man. He dropped the mirror. God. See, you're lucky this is live. We had to take this. We had to start it over.
Well,
anyway,
you know, we have you on. Thanks for coming on. We got to talk right now, of course. Lucha Underground Season 2, of course, started off great. A lot of people like ourselves, you know, us being in the business and fans all around cannot wait for Lucha Underground to return. It has returned. And let us know, Chris, what are your thoughts so far of seeing the presentation, actually seeing it come off on TV? What was your thoughts?
That's great. I mean, I've been watching these episodes now. Oh gosh, I probably have seen that first one at least 10 times. Going through it in post. I was there when we shot everything, obviously, and then I writing it. But it's nice to see it finally all kind of come through and see the reaction to the show. I was very happy. It's a lot of pressure, to come back with a second season and deliver something, an episode, especially the first episode that people really like, and I'm glad that it got such a positive response. I think it came off pretty well.
Definitely did love it. Of course, what can we expect from Season 2 that you might can leak or give a little tidbit about that would just blow our minds away from that we didn't get to see in Season 1?
Oh gosh, that you didn't get to see in Season 1. Well, you get to see a lot more new characters in Season 1. There'll be some new faces in the temple. You might see some new different matches in Season 1 that you haven't kind of seen. Some new gimmick matches. You will find out a lot more about who these characters are and what their reason, why they're in this universe and what they're doing in this kind of Lucha Underground universe. What their motivations are, who they are, where they came from. There's lots of wild and crazy stuff happening in this season. That I can assure you.
Okay. Thank you for that. NSC Gameboy.
Well, my first question to you, Chris, and first of all, thanks again for coming on. It's good to have you back, especially with so much positive feedback from Lucha. Y'all just came off of Sports Center, and not too long ago, and it was amazing. The response has been incredible. Can you fill us in about how that all came about? Sitting down with ESPN a little bit and getting the guys to that platform.
Well, I know that our PR department really, the PR department at El Rey really put in their work this in the off season to kind of hype up this season too, and get us all different places, whether it be Rolling Stone or Forbes, Slate, a bunch of different sites covering us. And then the SportsCenter thing came around as an opportunity. I believe, and don't quote me on this one because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that it kind of happened because some people who work, a director or two who work on SportsCenter from Los Angeles are like big fans of Lucha Underground and come to the temple every week. And they're like, hey, man, we should do a whole episode promoting season 2. And then it all kind of came together. And, everybody at SportsCenter and ESPN were down to do it, and it was a cool opportunity to have an entire episode that featured us and 3 of our biggest stars.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's love right there. ESPN is real biased toward the world of professional wrestling within the last few years, and to see your guys come on there and really kind of just pretty much take over, it was a great response from the fans and everything.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. I was happy I got to go that day, so it was neat to be on the set of SportsCenter, and we were all kind of fans of it. It was just an amazing experience and an amazing day.
Oh, that's great, Chris. That's great. Zach, back to you, baby.
Yes. With that, of course, my fans, Under the Mat Radio, when we had, I believe, one of your bosses, Chris, Eric Van Wegman, he invited us. We will be making an appearance soon at the temple. He told us we have a tour of the temple and get to meet you guys face to face. So we will be doing that soon this year. We'll be invading the temple, if you will. Not wrestling, but of course, doing media work as we do.
And Dario Cueto keeps those doors open to the temple for anyone to compete. So you guys are more than welcome to.
Hey.
Oh, my back. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be careful.
It's funny that you say that. It's a good thing that there's big news that just dropped the other day or today or yesterday was season 3 of Lucha Underground is coming. So.
And what does season 2 just started? So we have a good, I'd say about 20, at least 20 episodes. Wow. Of season 2. Yeah, if I'm right. Wasn't season 1 was how many episodes? 25 episodes, right?
No, season 1 was 39. Season 2 will be 26 total.
Oh, okay. Really? So season 1 was 39 episodes, which is an achievement because even the famous shows, the Breaking Bad, shout out to our boy Eric Bischoff, his other favorite show, Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchies and Lost. A lot of first seasons of shows are like 6 episodes, maybe 7. Lucha, 39 episodes for season 1.
Yeah.
Right. So 39 episodes, season 2 just started. And you said it's how many? 20 what?
26.
26.
And the 26 is a 2-hour show too. So so it's 27 hours, 26 episodes.
Oh wow! So 26 episodes for season 2, and now season 3 is announced, and we just gotta wait to see how many episodes. Can we get 50 episodes for season 3?
I wish we could. If we could I wish we could get 52.
Hey, like anything possible. Right.
I keep me working, so that would be a good thing. But hopefully, hey, who knows? I think the more support this show continues to grow, and the more response we get, more people start to watch it. I think the better chance we have for Lucha Underground to continue. And thanks to you guys for spreading the word since the beginning of this show. You guys spread the word from the very beginning.
Thank you.
So let's and I'm gonna ask you this, and then I know we had some fan questions that hit us up via social media. Then I'm gonna bring in my other co-host on my other show, Angry Mark, with his. Talk about the pressure for you being head of creative, being the head cheese of the creative department. Season 1 great, season 2 just started, and now season 3's been announced publicly, and then of course we know in the business, season 3. Of course, was anytime something's announced publicly, of course, it was solidified privately first. Talk about the the stress, or even the good stress and even the bad stress that you have to go through now to not only watch out season 2, now you got prepared for season 3.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress. You don't. A lot of season 2, most of it, actually, almost all of it, it's done already. We've shot it. It's recorded. It's in the can, and now we just kind of have to sit back and watch. And now, you start to prepare for a third season, and getting into it. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of positive pressure and negative pressure. When we first kind of thought going into season 2, we said, hey, it's very tough to come back with a second season and have people will always compare it to the first. But I think we really trust in ourselves and our ability and in the ability of the talent on our show to execute it. And I think season 2 is pretty awesome, man. I think it'll stand on its own as its own thing and a continuation of the story. But in a way, the beginning parts of season 1, we were kind of just learning how to ride the bike, and now we're getting on the regular bike, and hopefully by season 3, we're driving a motorcycle, and so we're getting there. Everybody, the more and more practice and experience we have making these shows, I think the better and better it gets. But yeah, sure, the pressure's on always, but I like pressure. I thrive in it, and I think everybody on this show does. We just want to continue to make the best wrestling show out there in the entire world, and I think we're going to at least push ourselves to keep doing it.
Now, you got to be careful now because, under the Mat Radio, when we show up at the temple, people die on Leacher. Because if I'm right, somebody died on Leacher Underground last season. So this ain't everywhere else, people don't die there. They may get injured, air quote, lose an eye, get injured. People die in Leacher Underground. So it's real.
Yeah.
It gets real. So we can lose a life. We get critical to Leacher. We may not even come back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You have to be very careful when you step into the temple. I will say, yeah, you might see some more people go along the way here. So,
well, I do have to mention what a fan just sent. An anonymous fan. He said he didn't want his name mentioned. He's from Oregon. Will we get to see you, Chris, wearing the diaper, spreading baby oil on Leacher Underground?
No, I'm going to let Vince keep that one for his show. He can have that. He can keep that one.
Okay.
That's his. He owns it.
Okay. And,
I'm good. I'm good where I'm at.
I will say...
I'm going to stay off camera.
Okay.
No problem on that one.
I will say shout out to...
you guys are probably like, thank God.
Thank God. Shout out to our production buddy, Charles Spencer, part of our staff in Canada that do great posters. And I told him, he sent me an NSC Gameboy, the poster. And I was like, what you think? So I hope Chris like it. I don't know if he going to keep the picture of him, back in the, where we do not speak of land, but you approved it, you liked it, so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, for sure, especially since I'm coming after Eric Bischoff. I think that's cool. So,
yeah.
I love Eric Bischoff. He's a good, he's always good to me, man, so that's a good memory for me, man.
Yeah, as we call him, the Boss Hoss, good friend of ours, personally and professionally. He's been on our show. What was the NSC Games? He did a
trilogy
with us. Did a trilogy.
Yeah, he just kept coming on.
Kept coming on every month.
He just kept coming on the show.
He's good, dude, man.
And
great guy.
I guess.
Great guy.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to do another trilogy down the line. So I'm sure Eric supports us. The words. We'll let him know what you think. That being said, before we continue with fan questions, I'm going to bring in my other co-host of our other show, Wrestling Black and White, on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to bring in now Angry Mark. Welcome, man. Angry Mark, you there? He might be drinking. Angry Mark drinks a lot. Angry Mark, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, man. I was grabbing a beer. Yeah. So, but no, man. Hey, congratulations again, Chris, on season 2 and season 3.
Thank you, Angry Mark.
I have 3 questions I'd like to ask you, and then because I got to get back. Last call's here in about 2 hours on the East Coast, so I got work to do. So a lot of people that I talk to want to know, how was Lucha Underground formed? Tell us the process and how you came to be with the company.
Well, I wasn't originally part of it. I mean, originally it was formed by Mark Burnett, Robert Rodriguez, and AAA, and a company called Factory Made, and some investors. And then when they had explored the idea, and then when they decided to make the TV show, I had been contacted saying that people at Burnett were looking for resumes of people, and I actually sent my resume in. But I was going for an interview with Survivor, and I went for the interview with Survivor because I've been working on reality shows and stuff like that in the time being. So as I went to the interview with Survivor, there's a guy named Matt Van Wagenen, who's the co-executive producer of Survivor. And we're talking about stuff. We started talking about, my experience and my resume. And he goes, hey, by the way, I Googled you before you came here. And he had found some of those, maybe that video with me and Eric Bischoff that we made the picture for the show. And he loved it, and then he says, by the way, my brother Eric is making this wrestling show for that. I think you might be perfect for it. I'll put you in touch with him. And Eric, in the meantime, was in New York doing Celebrity Apprentice, and he ended up contacting me from New York. When he got back from New York, we had a meeting, and we talked a little bit about the show. I gave him my opinions, both positive and negatively, about my thoughts on wrestling in general, and kind of explained my experience and why I thought I would be the best person a great hire for them. And he agreed and hired me onto the show, and then we kind of went into the planning stages of what this show is. We went through various incarnations, back and forth talks. Everybody they pushed us in all sorts of different directions. We pushed each other just to try to make something that was different, outside the box, and that would fit on Robert Rodriguez's network. I mean, it had to be worthy of Robert and his kind of style and the style of the network in general. So that's how kind of Lucha Underground came to be.
And my next question is, what if another network approached you guys that would want to syndicate and take and rerun season 2? Or is that something you think that Lucha Underground would be open to?
I think that would be a possibility, but again, I'm just saying that. That's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I mostly handle creative things like that. So those kinds of business decisions are made by people, in a lot of different places than me, a lot higher places than me. So that's their job, that's their decision, and hopefully, I would be open to Lucha Underground being available wherever and whenever we could. I mean, I think the more eyeballs will see this product, the more people will watch it, and the more people, the word will spread, and they'll see that this is different. But I would expect in the coming months to see Lucha Underground available in a lot more places than it is now.
Well, the reason I say that is because I'm affiliated with the network, and I think that you and I, or the powers that be, should talk sometime after the show or get an email address. I do have a very strong relationship with a current cable network, and I think I would love to possibly see negotiations start for reruns of Lucha Underground Season 1 to bring it to another 80 million households.
Yeah, that would be very cool. I'll have to exchange information with you.
No,
so, but my last question to you.
The cool things that happen when you come on Under the Man. Yeah. All right.
You all ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so last question is, how did you come up with the name The Temple?
That was just kind of, it traces back to kind of, the Aztec roots of the show and, like, Aztec temples and human sacrifices and where the Aztecs did battle and worship. That's kind of where the name the temple kind of came from, and that's the kind of how we thought that we should call it. We thought it was a cool name, and it stuck.
Well, I appreciate you answering those 3 questions for me, and be sure to get my info from Tech. And like I said, it's 100% real deal. We'd love to get into talks with you guys in regards to Season 1 and hopefully reruns of Season 2 within 30 to 60 days of their airtime.
Very cool. Thank you.
Have a great night, and I really hope to continue to see the growth. Your production is the best by far of any wrestling show, hands down. It always looks like $1 million. Keep it up, and can't wait to see more of it.
Very cool. Go, make sure you make last call, and I'll be in touch.
All right, thanks.
All right, Angry Mark. Thanks, man. Everybody, it was Angry Mark, my co-host for Thursday Night Show, Wrestling Black and White.
Great guy.
Now, of course, great dude. Of course, us, Chris, us being straightforward, us having a reputation, gotta tackle all news, good and bad. Now, of course, I don't know if you heard, Chris, because we heard, and people came to us about the rant and a very strong opinion that a legendary manager, Jim Cornette, said about Lucha Underground. I mean, we met Jim and talked to him, face to face at a few conventions. Now, just to preface this, I'm gonna read just a synopsis of what Jim Cornette said about Lucha Underground, which is a Chris DeJoseph. This is his head now. His head company he's talking about. And just to let anybody that has 4 kids that's still awake in the East Coast is listen, discretion is advised, is very strong language. Quote, unquote, of what Jim Cornette said, some of it is the fucking Lucha Underground horse shit. This is the most horrendous horse shit that I've ever seen in my life. We joked off the air, and I said, well, I'll probably like that match, but I won't like the concept of the show because it has writers. I didn't like nothing. This is more embarrassing than anything I could have dreamed of. It's a TV show. It's a movie. It's not wrestling. It's not a sport. They make no pretense of even attempting to make this shit believable. The production is incredible. It looks like Scorsese directed it. The cinematography is wonderful. It looks like a John Ford Western, whatever the fuck. I can't say enough about the production. And it's another nail in the coffin of wrestling to be taken seriously as a sport or anything that is not completely predetermined. There's nobody on the face of the planet that could watch this shit and believe that there is any legitimacy to it whatsoever. It shouldn't be called pro wrestling at all. It's a movie. They're wrestling in the movie. That's all it fucking is. That backstage horse shit that obviously takes multiple takes to shoot something like that. Nobody's believing these people. It's a scripted performance of a movie or TV show. That's all that shit is. No, this is paragraph 1 of 3 paragraphs. I'm not going to read.
We don't got to go to the rest of the
You ain't got to do that.
I've read it and listened to it. So
we don't want
quote unquote to the listeners and that's listening live and that will listen on the archive version of this of what Jim Cornette said about Lucha Underground. Chris, let us know your thoughts on what Jim Cornette said when you heard it and read it.
Well, I know, first of all, Jim has said personal things about me, so.
Oh, wow. Personal.
Yeah, he got personal last year when the show started to come out, and it had writers, and he wanted to, talk about me and who I am, and he didn't even know me, first of all. Second of all, I think Jim's just trying to get some attention and trying to play off of this show that's coming out. The other thing that just boggles my mind is he's like, it looks like a movie, a really awesome movie directed by Scorsese, but it's unwatchable. It sucks. the most contradictory thing I've ever heard in my life. Second of all, people stopped believing that the outcome of wrestling was real a long time ago, Jim. A long, long time ago. And I don't think for any chance that we're not trying to present this as that. We are trying to make we're trying to present wrestling in a new way. This is Lucha Libre, and it's a comic book. It's superheroes. It's crime. It's fantasy. It's modern. Wrestling is not going to go back to the days of the 1970s where people, believed, everything was real and the outcome was real, and two overweight guys battled it out for in-ring supremacy. Yeah, there's acrobatics because our athletes are better today than they were. I think there's just a lot of things. And it's funny that Jim says these things, because I respect Jim Cornette. I like Jim Cornette. I've been a fan of him. But it's funny that he says this when I've seen videos of him wrestling a Ninja Turtle. I've seen him fight in a Mummy, all stuff that he booked. And it's like, for him to say that now, it's just crazy to me to not think that people don't know that professional wrestling is entertainment. And that's what it is. It's entertainment. And just because we broke the mold a little bit, hey, that's what we're doing. I think we're trying to upgrade wrestling. We're trying to make wrestling better than what it has been presented, better than the way people think of it when they think of professional wrestling. We're trying to make it make a show that everybody wants to watch, not just wrestling fans necessarily.
Well, why do you think? And I'm gonna turn over to Mr. Gameboy to this. Why did Jim Cornette come after you personally? Well, what did you do? What have you done to Jim Cornette?
I'm supposedly a Hollywood writer who didn't know anything about wrestling, even though I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. I got involved in independent wrestling before I even worked at the WWE. I worked my way up. I got coffee every day. I learned from Vince McMahon. I learned from everybody. I worked my way from the very bottom to the top. And he thinks he knows about me. He thinks he knows, everything about me, but he doesn't. And hey, I don't know what he's doing right now, but hey, sorry, that's just the way it is, and I'm not shy to back away from that. And I think he took some shots at the character I played and how I look and stuff like that. And to me, that's just childish. And if he wants to be like that, that's fine, man. It's all good. He can just keep living in the past while we move on to the future.
Is there room even for Jim Cornette to make an appearance at the Temple?
Say that again?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, what you say?
I was saying, is there room for even Jim Cornette to make an appearance at the Temple? Would y'all
Dario Cueto says the doors are open for anybody to enter the Temple. So. But I do appreciate Jim for who he is and kind of the outlandish character that he has become now through his podcasts and appearances and stuff like that. And it's all fine and good. I get that he has to make a living too. But hey, man, we're not going to change because Jim Cornette doesn't like us. That's for sure.
Innocent Gameboy?
Well, I just want to say on the matter, I met Jim Cornette. He's a great guy, fellow Virgo. Shout out to the Virgos. And I can understand his frustration about the product, but I would just like to say, on my own opinion, wrestling is one of those things where it brings people together, and that's what it's supposed to do. I think that's the message. Does it bring families together? Does it bring fans together? And the fans have spoken, and they've spoken in droves, and it's evident. It feels good to go to a movie theater, get yourself some popcorn, and sit down and watch a great movie. You can't watch a great wrestling show anymore because on television, they don't really do wrestling shows like that anymore. They do what's called something else. I can't remember right now, but it's far from wrestling. It feels good that for an hour you can sit down and watch a show where characters do some amazing things. People, like Tech said, people die on the show. Fans can connect with characters and actually get a chance to see the culture by itself because it's evolving. And I think that's what Lucha's success really stands out. It evolves. And I think that is something that a lot of fans should really take into further consideration. And with the rest of the season, I can only imagine what's in store because it's just continues to evolve and it continues to be edgy. It continues to be graphic. It continues to capture. And ain't that what wrestling was supposed to be? Ain't that what wrestling was supposed to do? This is before PG-13. This is before PG. Wrestling was an adult sport where men and women felt like they can be one of these people. And I think Lucha brings that back in a whole new dimension. So, Chris, my question to you is that if there was someone right now that you would want to see in the temple, rather he's or she on the roster of another promotion or anything, if it's somebody you personally would like to see come to the temple and actually be on Lucha Underground, who would that person be?
Wow. I think there's a lot of people out there, and I think you made a very good point about this. And that's what we're trying to do. Is I'm trying to create a show that's going to let somebody take an hour of their time when they get home from work and sit down and forget about their problems and enjoy it. We're trying to create a show that pays off a fan who sits and invests their time with us when they're. And the other problem is nowadays there's a million other things on television. You have to compete. You have to be different. You have to stand out, and that's what we're trying to do. And I appreciate your take on that whole thing. If I could have anybody out there to compete in the temple, I guess obviously for me, I don't know, CM Punk or Bryan Danielson, I think would fit in pretty nicely. And those would probably be my two top guys that I would probably want if I could have.
Wow, imagine a CM Punk actually walking into the temple on Lucha Underground. Wow.
Imagine that.
Wow. Or Bryan Danielson. Wow, walking into Lucha Underground. Wow, that would be spectacular. Something to think about.
Speaking of people walking in the temple, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
With Lucha Underground. I know, you had the good promotion with the comic book that came out with him on it. Talk about what it means to you to have Rey Mysterio, probably one of the biggest stars, period, especially for the demographic that he covers. What does it mean for you to have him with Lucha Underground?
Rey Mysterio is an icon. If he's not the greatest luchador, he's not one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's very possibly the most recognizable luchador, if not the best luchador of all time. He's revolutionized wrestling in general. He's revolutionized the style of wrestling. And to have Ray as a part of Lucha Underground has just been an amazing, amazing experience, man. He is such a pro. And his experience and knowledge of the business and what he offers, his star power to this show it's been tremendous for everybody, from the talent to the crew to even me. I've been fortunate to know Ray for about 12 years now. So to get to work with him again after working with him in the WWE has been an honor. I know, there's a good amount of guys in our roster. I would say probably, maybe 90, 80% of them, the reason that they are wrestlers is because of Rey Mysterio. And it has been truly amazing to have such an icon in the business be there. One of the all-time greatest wrestlers of all time. I think it speaks for itself. You can ask people when you're walking down the street if they know who Rey Mysterio is, and they know who he is. They sell his mask everywhere. Everywhere you go, all over the world, he's known. So it's been pretty special to have him as part of the Lucha Underground team.
But if you can compare, I know last season you brought in Del Rio, who is back in the WWE now, and now you have Rey Mysterio. What would you say would be the similarities and the differences of when you had Del Rio to now having Mysterio?
I mean, I think the similarities are these are both two famous luchadors, probably two of the best wrestlers in the world. But I have great working relationship with both of them. I really like both of them a lot. But I mean, Rey Mysterio to me is a step above Alberto Del Rio. To me, he's a bigger star, and I think that's I guess the difference. No offense to Alberto, but I mean, I think you can probably look at ticket sales and merchandise sales all around the world, and you can tell, at all points that Rey Mysterio is the man.
Yes, he definitely is the man. Saltine, you with us, man?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead.
Everyone. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi. I have a question for you. All right, if you could pick anyone from Ring of Honor, because I love Ring of Honor, and that's my favorite, and also PWG, who would you choose in the roster? Because I know both of them work at both of the companies, but who would you choose? My choice would be Adam Cole. He would be a perfect fit for the Temple.
Yeah, Adam Cole's nice, man. I think he would fit well too. I mean, there's lots of guys in Ring of Honor that are super talents. Gosh, it's tough to choose for me, but yeah, I would say that. I mean, Jay Lethal's pretty awesome too, man. So it'd be cool. It'd be an honor to have any of those guys.
Yes, Red Dragon.
Red Dragon.
Yeah,
yeah.
they perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Now, fans want to know too, as well as us, Chris, what is that sound for Lucha Underground? I just said it sound like a fart or a burp. What is that? I love it because it's just simple and sweet, but what is it? Is it a burp? Is it a fart? Is it gas?
It's just the sound effect. It's kind of like, I guess I probably closely compare it to Lost the most. It's kind of like that Lost. You guys ever watched the show Lost?
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that. It's got that kind of like weird sound to it. But yeah, it's just the sound that our editors found and put it in the show, and it just kind of has become our calling card.
Yeah, I actually like it. Now, how did y'all come up with the idea of the actual mask? And after you answer that, whose mask, if any luchador's mask it is, are you using for the logo?
Well, the logo came from some designers at El Rey and some pretty talented guys that work there. That mask, I'm not going to say whose mask that is because maybe you'll find out one day.
Whoa, little hints. I like that. Okay, these days. Little days. We're not even in April yet. Okay. All right.
Little Easter egg, if you will.
Yeah, if you would.
Now, of course, you being head creative, what shows do you tend to draw your creative ideas from? Tell us about your creative process.
Oh gosh, I mean, well, we have a few guys that I work with. Andrew, Matt Stolman, Chris Roach. We kind of sit down, I mean, we like everything from science fiction to crime to karate movies to old kung fu flicks, and we kind of draw from everything. I mean, Star Wars, Breaking Bad, Lost. Gosh, I mean, there's just so many things out there that we all like. I mean, even going old school, like Masters of the Universe and like,
Conan.
Yeah, definitely Conan the Barbarian. We kind of look for inspiration in all different types of stuff. Whether it be Game of Thrones. There's a wide range of things that we all kind of like and watch and play around and draw from.
Cool. Who would you say?
I mean, if anything, lots of Robert and Quentin's movies. So, we try to look at them and kind of try to think of how those guys would do things.
How would you talk to us about Robert Rodriguez? Will we get to see him on film? What do you actually see his face on the temple? Tell us his contributions and his little involvement with the product of Lucha Underground.
Well, I mean, Robert's hands-on with everything he does on El Rey Network. He's a busy man. I mean, he's got a band. He's making movies. He's got a network to run. He's got a lot going on. But Robert, he watches all of our shows. He reads all of our scripts. He watches the cut scenes and gives notes and feedback. And he's been awesome about it. I mean, I saw him over the summer, and he was just so happy about Lucha Underground and so happy about the job that everybody's doing, and he's just really excited for season 2. And I know he tweeted out season 3, so I'm sure he's excited about that too.
We had to, because a fan asked us this. Compare Vince McMahon to, as far as bosses wise, Robert Rodriguez is your boss, and you have Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but I got a few different bosses. I got Mark Burnett too.
Can't forget him. Can't forget about Mark Burnett. Compare the T-Fall's personalities, their work style, because people want to know.
Well, I would say that Robert and Mark are definitely a lot more laid back than Vince is. Vince is intense. He can get angry easily. Mark has more money. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's a little bit different. I think that Robert and Mark and Eric Van Wagenen have been. They hired me and my team for a reason, and that reason, I think that they give us a lot more freedom than I think Vince gives you. Vince micromanages a lot. So I would say that's probably the major difference. They trust us. They hired us for a reason, and they trust us in what we're doing, and they like what we're doing, and they let us go with it. And I think that's been an awesome thing, to have a lot more creative freedom to kind of run with things and do what we want, as long as they're mostly cool with a lot of the stuff we do. But that's because we try to make the show that they asked us to make and give it to them.
Mm-hmm. And it's a Gameboy.
Yes, sir. I think more importantly, I want to kind of take it to the side. As we've been talking so much great things about Lucha Underground and the upcoming, my question to you is that the women of Lucha are fantastic, are amazing. Is there any little Easter eggs that we can be expecting for the women and the female fans out there, and who's listening to the show and maybe listening to the archives? The women of Lucha Underground, any little tidbits that we might can receive, if you will?
I think that you will see a lot more women in the season of Lucha Underground. They will definitely be arriving to the temple, and I think they'll prove that they're just as powerful and dominant characters as the men are on our show, if not more. I think you'll see a lot of great performing, great wrestling from the women of Lucha Underground and the new women of Lucha Underground. So you'll be in for a big surprise there. I don't know if that's necessarily an Easter egg, but just be prepared for more luchadoras to show up.
Well, we'll just call it an A right now. We wouldn't call it Easter yet, because it was
not here,
good, but it's just getting there. So we just call it an A for right now. There's something in your basket. You can check it out later. So that's fine. That'll work.
Speaking of women, we got to give a shout out to the lovely and she was on our show not long ago, Melissa Santos. We had her on the show. Great guest, very funny, great person to have. Your thoughts of Melissa Santos, Chris?
I think Melissa Santos is like one of my favorite people on Lucha Underground. She's such a nice girl and really has gotten better and better and better at her job. And I think you can make the argument that she's the best wrestling ring announcer in the world right now. And not only is she beautiful, she's smart, and she's really good at her job. And it's an honor and privilege to have her on our show. And we love having her.
Now, commentating teams is kind of a dying art lately. A lot, it's safe to say that wrestling commentary is pretty much not what it used to be. Shout out to our good buddy Jim Ross. He's with he's working now with New Japan, which is definitely great. You have Ring of Honor. Buddy Steve Carino does a good job, of course, with him and Kevin Kelly. But other places, really, the commentator's kind of down. And we mention that because, of course, Matt Striker, good dude, met him, and Van Pereira, I feel very good job. Very good job at the commentating. They feel natural. It doesn't feel scripted. It doesn't feel like they're fed lines. They just feel like they're just out there having fun. Van Pereira, of course, being a veteran, giving his expertise being in the ring, and, of course, Matt Striker being very informative, and, of course, giving his experience. Your thoughts of the commentary of Lucha Underground, and would there be any additions or any? Would there be a return of Matt Striker in Lucha Underground as well? Van Pereira came back. Would we see a return of Matt Striker maybe?
Oh, in the ring.
In the ring, yes.
As of right now, there's no plans for that, but you never know. I mean, something could come up, and Matt Striker might have to get involved in something and maybe have a match. But I will say this: I think that they're a great team. The thing I like the most about them is, when they first came in, I kind of told Matt, "Hey, let's call wrestling. Let's call the moves. Let's have some fun. You don't have to, sell an app or a network for me the entire, hour that we're doing this. Go out there and let's talk about the product that's on the screen." And Vamp is just Vamp. There's nobody like him in the world, and he's just such a character. And then once him and Matt, they're like buddies, So when they're out there, they're having a good time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Vamp gets up in the middle of the show and just starts running around or screaming, or he can't really believe. He just gets so into it. He loves wrestling so much, and both of them love wrestling so much. They really have become a fun team. I think they started out a little rough when we first started the show, but hey, that's something that takes time. Vamp had never done that before in his entire career, and then once he started to get in a groove, and Stryker's such a professional and so good at it, they've really created a good rapport with one another, and I think they're great.
Thanks for that. Will we get a Lucha Underground app? Will, people go to that app unlike the other apps.
I don't know. Hopefully, you should ask them at Lucha El Rey. Be like, "Yo, what's the deal? Get the app. Let's get the Lucha app going." I'm down with that.
Yeah, I did it. But before we let you go, and so far I think you've been great. Have been on the show. Super Bowl is coming up.
Yeah.
You got the Carolina Panthers, Cammy Newton, and the Dap and dancing and everything. Yep. You got Old Man Manning with the no neck, trying to make it.
Yeah.
Who are you going for, Chris? The Denver defense.
Yeah, I like Von Miller a lot, but I'm a Cardinals fan. We got beat by Cam. He gave us a butt whooping, and Cam is the man. And I think I'm all about Cam. I want to see Superman win that Lombardi Trophy. I even think if they do win, they're gonna that team is a team to be reckoned with for a while. Like they don't even have Kelvin Benjamin, man. Like if they get him back, I don't know. Man. Watch out for the Carolina Panthers.
So you're not giving Journeyman Manning no chance, are you?
No, I'm not. I don't. Cam Newton he's just so good, man. I don't know. I don't know. The Denver defense is pretty good though, but man, I'm a Cardinals fan, and they crushed us. They pretty much crushed everybody this year. So I got to go with Cam.
Yeah, so still Burns. Well, we know about defense. NFC Gameboy, Ravens. Ravens. Which, by the way, and someone just tweeted me and this inbox this to me personally, talking about the Super Bowl and the defenses. The fact that the Baltimore Ravens from 2000, we'll get into the game, boys. Five takeaways, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. One of the most historic defenses in Super Bowl history, and you got Denver's defense that is pretty good. I say it like this, I feel either Denver is going to get blown out or Denver's going to come back at the end and win.
Ooh.
That's how. Because nobody gave Denver a chance in the season. They came back. Nobody gave them a chance against Crybaby Brady and the deflated balls, and they won. Now you got Cam Newton. And I like Cam. Now, NFC Gameboy, you with me here? We know that we knew about the Panthers when he went to the other Super Bowl back in 2003 with Jake Delhomme. So, some of the kids probably think this is the Panthers' first time going to a Super Bowl. It's not. They went, and lost to, Brady and his cheating ways. But it's all cool. So, either way, if Manning wins, we don't have to hear about Peyton Manning no more. He's going to retire, let his neck heal up. The Manning Brady thing will be dead and over with. Thank you. Gosh, we ain't got to hear any of that no more. If Cam wins, I don't know, Manning may try to stick it out for another year. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I don't know if what will happen there, but I'm going to cheer for the Panthers in the NFC. So,
yeah. Well, guy asked you too. Do you feel that is right that your boy Cam Newton is getting blasted because of his celebrations?
I mean, come on, he's got to have some fun, man. Celebrating. He gives the kids the ball. I don't know. I think the Panthers are entertaining, and they've got swag about them, man. They feel like they believe that they're champions, and I like that.
Yeah, I definitely do too. Now, before we let you go, it's been great having you on the show. What we did was called a plug party. Let us know how to contact you on social media, yourself, Legion Underground, and all the merchandise that you can get for Lucha Underground and El Rey Network.
First you can follow Lucha Underground at Lucha El Rey. You can follow me at Chris DeJoseph on Twitter. Go to luchaunderground.com. You can buy merchandise. We got even shirts up at Pro Wrestling Tees. Get on that and try to help the product. Watch Lucha Underground every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on the El Rey Network.
Yes. Well, Chris, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege again to have you back on the show. I definitely will be contacting you via email soon within the next day or two about some things off the air. But thanks for your time. Hopefully you had a blast. And I look forward to Lucha Underground every week, Wednesday nights on El Rey Network. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Everybody, that was the head creative of Lucha Underground, also producer, Chris DeJoseph, coming on for Lucha Underground. Thank you for Lucha El Rey Network providing him on the show with us. So,